Hey everybody, this is Mr. Frank, and in today's lesson, we are going to be practicing graphing both quadratic and exponential functions. We're going to be using the DESMOS graphing calculator, and we're going to be using question 34 from the June 2022 Algebra Regents. Number 34. On the set of axes below, graph f of x equals x squared minus 1 and g of x equals 3 to the x power. All right. So first thing I'm going to do here, if I want to graph this, is I need a table of values for each. So I'm going to use my graphing calculator to do so. So first I'm going to graph the quadratic function, the parabola, the f of x equals x squared minus 1. So I'm going to go to my DESMOS graphing calculator. I'm going to click in to the first rectangular spot in the upper left, and I'm going to put f of x equals x squared. Remember, hit x. I come down to my keypad, use the a squared button, and then minus 1. You can see right here on the right side on the graph paper, the parabola appears, but I want a table of values. So I am going to click the wheel where it says edit list, and you can see a table, convert to a table. Yes, I want to convert to a table. And you can see that the table has given me values from -2 all the way to +2. And that my f of x, or my y values, go as high as 3. Now, if I go back to the graph that they're giving me on the regions, I could see that my y-axis goes up to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I could fit up to 13. So how do I get some more values of my parabola before I copy down this table? So I'm going to go back to the calculator. Now, if I want to put a value that's smaller than -2, I'm going to click into the x just above it and hit enter. And then it gives me room to put any number I want. I'm going to put -3. And I can see that goes as high as 8. Well, maybe I can go even higher. So maybe put a -4 and see how high that goes. Oh, and that gives me a 15, and that's off my graph, but I'm going to leave it there. No problems. And now if I want to put the value of +3, I'm just going to click underneath the 2 and put 3. And I think -3, 8, all the way to 3, 8 should be a good interval for my table of values. So I'm going to go back here to my graph, and I am going to copy that table down here for my f of x. So I'm going to copy it almost exactly the way it is. I have my x, one to the side, and there's my f of x. Excuse me if it's not perfectly straight. So I have -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to start at -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. And then the f of x, I'm going to copy down from my table. I got 8, 3, 0, 8, 3, 0, -1, 0, 3, 8. Great. So I got my values for my quadratic function. So now I'm going to put those points in. So here we go. So -3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oop, that point was a little too big. Let's make it a little bit smaller. -3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There. -2, 3. -1, 0. 0, -1. That's an important point because that's the vertex or the turning point of my parabola. 1, 0. 2, 3. And 3, 8. And then I'm just going to be really careful as I connect these. It's very hard for me to do it right here, but I'm just going to connect it, put a little arrow there because it keeps on going. And here. There you go. Not perfect, but it's good enough. And I'm going to label this right over here. That was my f of x. All right, great. So we got the parabola graphed, the f of x. So let's do the g of x, which is an exponential function. So I'm going to go back to my graphing calculator, and I am going to click into the third input space, and I'm going to put g of x equals 3, and I want to do the power of x. So on my keyboard, if it's down, you're going to come down here and lift it up. Next to the a squared button is a to the b. That's if you want to put any given input into your exponent. So I'm going to hit the a to the power of b button. You can see it kind of opens up a blank space there, and I'm just going to put the x there. Oh, and there you go. There appears my exponential function. Now I can see it's the same color as the other one. I don't like it to be the same color, so I'm going to hold that down over there on the left side where it's green. I'm going to change it to blue. There you go. All right, so now my exponential function is blue. Well, again, I'm going to need a table of values in order to graph this. So I am going to, while that's highlight over here, I'm going to go up here and go to my edit list, my little wheel, click that, and then a table appears there. And I could see that some values from -2 to 2 also appeared. I can see my highest value for y is 9. So maybe I can get the next one. Let's see. I'm going to put 3 in here. Nope, 3 goes all the way to 27. So that's not going to fit. So I'm going to do -2 to 2. So I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to copy down those values as well. All right, so I'm going to come over here, and now I'm going to do the x value, and this time we're going to be doing the g of x, my exponential function, and I'm going to copy from -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. So -1, 0, 1, 2. Here I could see it's 0.111 repeating. A nice way to write that is a 0.1 with a little line over there. That's 0.111. My -1 is 0.3 repeating, so I'm going to put 0.3 with a little line. That means the 3 repeats. And then we get some easier points to graph. 0, 1, 0, 1, yeah, 0, 1, 1, 3, and 2, 9. All right, cool. All right, so I'll make these points, I'll make them red. All right, so I got -2.1. That's a tiny, you can barely see that. So I'm just going to go a little bit above there, right there. And then -2.3. Well, 0.333 is kind of like a third. I'll put a little bit higher. And then we get 0, 1, that's up here. And then 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, that's right there. And then we get 2, 9, that goes all the way up there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right there. All right, once those are there, I'm going to be very careful. I'll do this one in a different color. I'll do it in blue. I could see that this kind of starts just above there, goes through there, and then shoom, skyrockets, right? Put a little arrow over here as well. And this was my g of x. All right, excellent. Very good. So we just got those graphed, and we're feeling good. We got the first part of this done. It said graph it. We did graph it, but there's a question down here. It's based on our graph, how many values of x does f of x equal g of x? Well, whenever you see a question in algebra where they're asking you for the f of x being equal to g of x, that's just a really fancy way of saying a point of intersection. When the f of x line, which happens to be a parabola, is equal to the g of x line, which happens to be an exponential function, where they both have the same value. That's going to be a point of intersection, and I can see that I have at least one right here. But I really want to make sure that that's true, that it's only one. So I'm going to go back to my DESMOS calculator. And one of the cool things with the DESMOS calculator is not only could we see this point, if I zoom in here, I could zoom in with my scrolling, but I can hit this plus button here and scroll in. And I can actually put click the button right at the point of intersection, and it actually tells me what it is. You can see it's kind of a little irrational number there, but I could see that they're giving me the point, but they're not asking for that. They're asking how many points of intersection. So what's going to help me is actually to zoom out. And one thing that you might notice is that the exponential function is gaining its y, is increasing exponentially faster than the y value for the parabola here in the positive quadrant over here. Therefore, they will never, ever, 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 ever intersect again. The only time they're ever going to intersect is at that one place right there. All right, let's see if we can get that onto paper. All right, so based on your graph, make sure we answer everything. How many values of x does f of x equal g of x? Well, I'm going to write here 1. Oh, I don't want it to be big and red. All right, for how many values, right? F of x will be equal to g of x at exactly 1 value, right? Right there. But here it also says explain, right? Whenever it says explain, we kind of have to put it into words. Well, I'm just going to try to put into words what we just said before. The g of x, or the exponential function, the g of x values of y will increase exponentially faster than f of x. Therefore, they will only intersect the one time as seen on my graph. That might be a little overdone right here, but it definitely gets the idea across that there is only one value where f of x is equal to g of x, and I gave basically y. And there you have it. Hope this was helpful, and please don't forget to subscribe to Mr. Frank's YouTube channel.